It is National Preparedness Month.
National Preparedness.
We're just challenging all our listeners, our viewers, just to do one thing this month to better prepare you and your family. Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Perez.
And I'm Wesley Long.
And we're bringing you a fresh new take on disaster preparedness.
Welcome to Disaster Class.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Disaster Class. I'm Jason Perez.
And I am Wesley Long.
And Wesley, class is in session.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
So we're following this theme for this month, in case you haven't been paying attention, but it is National Preparedness Month.
National Preparedness.
So a national initiative to get our communities more resilient, better prepared for disasters.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to talk a little bit about that and doing something, just one thing this month. We're just challenging all our listeners, our viewers, just to do one thing this month to better prepare you and your family.
Yeah, and so what we thought we would do is we wanted to kind of give you guys a muscle memory. This is kind of what we do in our class when we have the, hazard identification risk assessment. We have them do an emergency action plan. We actually have people go through this in class, so they have the muscle memory to do it. So we were going to mimic a recommendation on how to get prepared for National Preparedness Month. We're literally just going to go to ready.gov.
To the ones who created National Preparedness
created all of this, right? And we haven't looked at this. We haven't studied it. We're just going to take a look at what the recommendations are and kind of talk you through some of those things and hopefully make it make sense so that you can do the same thing with your family from your home computer. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go, and if this will be good if you're listening, we're going to try and make this as nice and easy as possible. But this might be one of those episodes where you go check it out on YouTube later because we're going to have some nice visuals to go along with it.
Yeah.
So we're right here on ready.gov. So this is an official website for FEMA, for the community. So this is an actual official U.S. government website.
And it's important to realize that it is for the community, right? They kind of went through a rebranding. You go to FEMA.gov, and it is very, very, I want to say heavy. There's a lot of content there. But really the focus for that is for emergency managers, right? That's the focus of the FEMA website, not necessarily for the everyday person.
Yeah.
Their rebranding, their approach for the everyday people is ready.gov. So this is designed so that the everyday person can gain accessibility to a lot of this wealth of knowledge that they have, because they really do have a ton of information. It's almost an inundation thereof, but there's a lot of content here. But this is primarily designed for the everyday person, the quote-unquote civilian, to get in and take a look at this stuff. So that's what we're looking at. So that's ready.gov. That's the value of it. Super valuable. So we're just going to take a look.
Yeah, and so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I'm going to record my screen here so we can actually, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can actually see what we're doing and what we're interacting with. Yeah. So what we're seeing right now is the ready.gov homepage, and as you can see, there's a nice little thing here for National Preparedness Month.
Little call-out box.
Little call-out box here. And so they have some cool little tools here. I mean, I haven't actually been on this website in a little bit. So this is kind of some new stuff for us. So as you can see, they have a make a planned form. That's interesting. Yep. So we can let's just take a look at that, because obviously one of the biggest things we talk about in our class is actually having a plan, right? Yep. Having a plan is so, so important. So we can go ahead and click on that link, see where it takes us. And what they have here is actually just a little fillable form where you can go ahead and you can put in some of your important household information. You can list your address, family members, their name, their mobile number, links to their social media accounts or email. And you can add, and what it does is it basically just builds like a form, and you print a printable PDF where you can
it looks like,
enter in all your...
and then there's add another name, so you can continue adding family members.
Yeah.
And it's got a section now for emergency plans. And also, if you could scroll back up, there was one little box I thought was pretty cool right here. Important medical or other information. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Like
Yep.
kind of what we were talking about recently with the File of
Yep.
Life Foundation, the importance of that.
Yep.
If you haven't watched that episode yet or listened to that episode, we definitely recommend go back and watch that.
Yep.
So they have a nice little spot for that, so you can add each of your family members and even list their contact, but not, like Wesley said, also their important medical information or other information that you want to have with them.
Yeah, pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So next they have emergency plans. So
I like what it says here. Enter information for schools, childcare, caregivers, and workplaces.
Yeah.
Very good to have people be thinking about that, right?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Absolutely. Emergency plan or pickup. Like, so how are you going to reconnect, right? That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Is, it's nice if a disaster happens and you're all together at the same time, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen, or it's not going to be realistic. So you may think about where you're going to be. Are you going to be at work?
Yeah.
Are the kids going to be at school?
And this is a good way to do it. It's Thursday, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? Where are you?
At that time.
Where is your spouse? If you have children, where are they? Mm-hmm. If you have any other dependents that you take care of, maybe older ones, where are they?
Yeah.
How will you get to them if the threat is coming from the north of the city, or coming from the south of the city, or coming from the east or the west, right? This is how it's important to be really critically thinking about these things in real time that help make these communication plans, right?
Yeah. Give it some context. You know, if it happens at this day, this time,
right,
what is that going to look like?
Yeah. Oh, on a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I'm doing this, so I'll be here. Oh, but on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Oh man, if it's a Saturday and I'm not at work, or right, be thinking about those things. Oh, the kids aren't in school, so they'll be here. They'll be over at Johnny's house playing. Well, where's Johnny's house in relation to your house, right? So be thinking. It's helpful to be thinking about these things with some specificity.
Yeah. All right, so that's emergency plans here, and then scroll down. You can add an additional emergency plan. So, we talk about this, right? Well, also an evacuation plan,
correct?
Sheltering in place.
Yep, because it'll be different
depending on your different hazards. You may have a different response depending on what's actually going on. So,
tornado,
customize
that. Earthquake. Yep.
So that's pretty cool. You can add additional ones, and then emergency contacts.
Yep.
So
hopefully
list all those.
Out of town contacts.
Yeah,
they don't talk about that.
They don't specify that.
Hitting that. Mm-hmm.
But that's something, if you're going to have an emergency contact, make sure that they're out of state or out of a long distance contact.
Yeah. Not going to be affected by the same disaster as you.
Yeah, exactly. And also that it helps to be able to relay information, right? Because if local phone lines are jammed because everyone's trying to make phone calls, a out-of-state contact can help relay information.
Because you can usually still make long distance for using a landline, right? You can still make long distance,
or
calls
even cell phones too.
Yep.
Yeah, you can even if the local lines are jammed, a lot of times you can still make long distance calls. Emergency meeting places. They have a spot to add emergency meeting places
and instructions there.
That's nice. So one of the things we recommend too is having multiple.
Correct.
And they actually have the option to add multiple, which is really nice. Because you want to have one maybe close by within your neighborhood. Yep. Somewhere in your city, outside of your neighborhood, but then also now outside of your city. Or even outside of your region, like if you have to go really far. So having some different places is definitely really good.
And a lot of times it's good too to be thinking directionally. Like, I'm not trying to harp on this, but like if it's tornado or earthquake or major fire and it's in the north, if your plan A had everybody leaving the city going north, that's probably not going to make sense right now. Mm-hmm. So maybe you have to leave your city via the south because the threat is in the north, right? So be thinking about that. You could have almost at least a minimum of 4 action plans off the bat, or locations, because if the issue's in the north, we can't meet there, right? Just be thinking about those kinds of things.
Yeah. So they have another spot for medical information. It seems more
specific,
more general, and listing doctor name, information,
doctor's number.
So pediatrician name, pediatrician phone number, all that stuff. Medical insurance name and policy number. That's good because
really good.
If documents get lost or damaged in the process of a disaster, you have that information.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And also good practice too. Like personally, I keep a lot of stuff in the cloud, copies of my documents. So if I lose a physical card, I know like in my Google Drive or whatever, I have copies of those ID cards, so I can still get that information.
Have access to it.
Veterinary.
It's cool. So they've got a section for pets.
Yeah. So yeah, think about that too, and also think about that also in terms of if you have to evacuate, right?
Yeah.
If you need to leave town, you have to bring your pets with you. You know, they're part of your family. Plus, you're responsible for them.
You're responsible for them.
Officials don't want you leaving your pets behind. You got to make sure that you bring pets with you. So you got to make sure you plan for them.
Yep.
But also in thinking and planning out your emergency meeting places.
Yep.
Are they going to be able to care for their pets or have pets, right?
Are they dog friendly? Are they not?
Like if it's a hotel or, are they going to be able to take your pets?
Right. Or again, if you have a choice of hotels and you have a pet, choose the one that is pet friendly as your location, right? So that's why advanced planning is so valuable. It's not in the heat of a moment. It's going to be very difficult to make that decision. But if you've already done that when it's on a sunny day, it's really easy to make that decision and it's quick. It's like, we're not going to go to that hotel. We're going to go to that hotel right next door because they're pet friendly. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That's part of our emergency action plan. We don't have to think about that again. It's already done.
Yeah. So after you compile all this information, you can enter an email address, and it sends the generated PDF form to that email.
That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
That's cool functionality.
Yeah, I mean, this is a free tool.
Yep, free resource
from FEMA that's available to you right now on ready.gov. So, we're talking about it's National Preparedness Month. Do just one thing.
If this is the one thing you do
it.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
If you don't have an emergency action plan, if you don't have relocation locations set up, just do that. I mean, you literally could probably get through this form in 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we shouldn't take too long.
And you would have a really comprehensive plan that you and your family can print out, and then you can practice, right? Because having the plan is important first, and then practice the plan.
Yeah, and fill this out together. Like, get the family together, because when you get people, the different heads and minds together, you can start brainstorming some different things.
Yep.
So definitely, if you do one thing this month, do this.
Yep.
Hey, everyone. Just want to pause real quick to thank Sawyer Products for sponsoring this episode of Disaster Class. Sawyer Products offer the best, most technologically advanced solutions for protection against sun, bugs, water, and injuries. Everything from water filtration systems to insect repellents. I personally have been using their water filters for years. So if you're at work, at home, or at play, make sure you check out Sawyer Products at Sawyer.com. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it's available right now.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
So go to ready.gov /plan-form, and that'll take you to that. But we'll put in a link in the description on how to access it. And we have our own emergency action plan template that we've just designed. Also, we'll give you a link to that and see which one, try them both out. If you got comments on which tool you like better, let us know.
Yeah, and if you have more time, I'm going to a little plug here. We have a 3-hour comprehensive class that's available online, which we haven't done this, and we probably should. We're making this decision on the fly. We probably should discount that like 50%.
Well, you can for 15% off.
Yeah.
And with promo code Preparedness Month.
Yep.
And that'll get you 15% off our community emergency planning class. And also 15% off everything site-wide at instinctready.com. So
we'll throw a link for the class on there too, because if you've got a little more time, it's a self-paced study class. It's about 3 hours. I know Jason and I are super boring. We're the main teachers for it. He takes the first section. I take the last section.
Yep.
But we've been told it's extremely informative and gotten a lot of feedback. And it was recorded from one of the last classes we did a few months ago. And you'll hear in that class, we had people in that class from all over, really the world technically. We had some people from Brazil. We had some people from Trinidad and Tobago. Obviously, people from all over the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Midwest.
So you get to hear people talking about the different threats specific to their region and things that they're thinking about. So it's a very, very comprehensive class. Highly recommend it if you haven't taken it yet. We'll make that available in the show notes as well.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the website,
Yeah.
Wesley, and I see this kind of caught my eye. This little tab here.
Oh, this is still on ready.gov.
Ready.gov. Low and no cost preparedness. Let's check that out.
I like that.
Low and no cost preparedness.
Okay, so they're showing the FEMA app. Love the app.
Okay.
We use the app like religiously. We love the app.
Yeah, I know we've plugged the app before, and again, we are not in any way sponsored or endorsed by FEMA or affiliated.
But they have some really good products.
These are just tools and resources that are just available to all American citizens. So one of the things they're talking about here is the FEMA app, which is really good because it helps you. You can get real-time alerts to your location and for others.
Yep.
You can have 5 different locations in there.
Done by zip code.
They also have different little checklists or different things to do for hazard specific. You can look up what hazards are in your area by your zip code. And then they also, it's like what's really cool, one time we were under a tornado warning here.
Yep.
And it popped up in my FEMA app and it had, here's the alert. This is the time, the location, everything. And then it had this what to do.
Yeah.
And I clicked on that and it's like, okay, if there's a tornado warning, it's like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it just
really cool.
Told you what to do.
Really cool.
Which is really, really helpful.
Yep.
So that's one of the things they're talking about here is download the FEMA app.
So maybe that's your one thing.
Yeah.
For national preparedness.
That's also free.
Free. Just download the app on your phone.
Minimal effort.
Put in your location and you're just already going to be, part of actually, having a plan is being in the know of what's happening. This is a great resource to always know what's happening in your area, in your region.
And if you have one of the things we get asked a lot, and it's people want to know specific things. Okay, for this specific hazard, what do I do? Right. What do I do before, during, and after?
Yep.
All that information is right here on ready.gov. So on the homepage, if you go to disasters and emergencies, you'll see there's a whole list of different things. So, it's a great resource. Go to ready.gov, click on the disasters and emergencies tab, and you can look up and see, select one of the hazards, and then it tells you, here's what to do before, here's what to do during, and then after. So great resources. So if you do anything for National Preparedness Month, go check out ready.gov. That's ready.gov, and it's an official website for FEMA, an official United States government website with a wealth of resources that you and your family can take advantage of.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for that. It's really good. It's valuable.
So, So also let us know what you're doing.
Please,
share. Like we're trying to make this a community
interactive.
So share, comment on our socials with what you're doing to prepare for National Preparedness Month. What are some things that you have found helpful for you and your family where you live with your specific hazard? Share that information, and let's help each other out.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, that concludes this episode of Disaster Class. Wesley, as you know, there's always homework. Yeah.
What do we need to do? Like, subscribe, turn on alerts so that you're updated when we do drop a new video, a new episode. And, write that review. Let us know how we're doing, and tell your friends and family and link it to them and share the knowledge. And as always, if you have a question, a comment, you have a preparedness tip, you have a story to share, send us an email at disasterclass@instinctready.com or send us a message at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. And doing so will always put you in a running to be featured on the show and win some cool stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So until next time, stay educated, stay prepared, and stay equipped. We'll see you next time. See you. Disaster Class is part of the Readiness Lab, the home for podcasts, webinars, and training in the field of emergency and disaster services.